Hey folks, welcome to Sailing Nehan, where you're about to watch these two idiots who bought a sailboat in Portland, Oregon. We have traveled thousands of miles and have spent countless hours working on this boat to get it ready. We surprised ourselves with everything we have accomplished so far, and we managed to get it all done.
Now we're about ready to send her down the Columbia River, through the graveyard of ships, and down the big scary Pacific Ocean to her new home port, Humboldt Bay, in Northern California. I hope you enjoy watching us make all the mistakes humanly possible. Welcome back to Sailing Nehan. Last episode, we tried to leave Sand Island, broke our prop shaft coupling, had to make a bunch of phone calls, explored the island, got to enjoy a fireworks show, finally got a tow back up the river to Rocky Point Marina, where they hauled us out and gave us some bad news of we were dead in the water.
So in this episode, you can come along with us as we explore Northwestern Oregon. No, we won't be on the boat, we won't be sailing, so if you're here to watch us hang out aboard Nehan, you will be very disappointed. But we still welcome you to enjoy the ride, sit back and relax as we explore around Astoria, Oregon, and drive down Highway 101 south along the Oregon coast.
I hope you enjoy.
Had a nice little lunch with Jessica out on Vancouver at the Beaches restaurant, and now we have decided that we're gonna go to Astoria and hang out, since that was the original plan.
Since we can't take a boat there, we know to do and drive.
So yeah, now we're driving to Astoria, and we're gonna hang out there today and maybe tomorrow and do all the stuff that we originally wanted to do once we got to Astoria. We made it to Astoria, and we're going straight to the Cannery Museum.
In 1938, Columbia River packers entered the tuna canning business. Since World War II, the tuna industry has gone through a period of phenomenal growth. Pre-war production in America was 2.5 million cases. Today, the volume is over 17 million cases. That means approximately 7 times as much tuna sold today as there was 20 years ago. Frozen tuna from many different parts of the world has made this growth possible. Today, Columbia River packers maintain their own cold storage plant for tuna, a short way upriver from the canneries, at the foot of Astoria's 39th Street.
This last one, they may put them out of business. Someone really messed up on the supply line. Here we are at the end of Pier 39 after checking out this museum. It is well worth the stop, and I recommend it for everyone. The history in here was amazing. So much to see. We finally made it to the end of the pier and overlooked the Columbia River and see how much water is truly flowing through here. It's such an amazing river.
Now let's hop on board the Astoria Riverfront Trolley. It's a 3-mile long ride along the Columbia River. The streetcar is over 100 years old, and it was built in 1913 in San Antonio, Texas. It's called a symbol and icon of Astoria. It's super cheap, and it only costs $1 per boarding or $2 for all day. All right, 1, 2.
Okay, your turn. The Columbia River is 1,200 miles long. It begins in British Columbia. It makes a couple left and right turns and comes out right here. It is the 7th longest river in the United States. The 8th longest is the Snake River, which happens to be the longest tributary leading to this river.
Wow.
By volume of water, though, we are number 2. It was named by Captain Robert Gray in 1792. He named it after his own ship, the Columbia Rediviva. 1803, Thomas Jefferson purchases Louisiana Territory, doubling the size of the United States, and he hires Captains Lewis and Clark to go explore west of that. He wants a northwest passage. He wants an easy way to get to the Pacific Ocean for trading purposes. They head out. Took them 18 months to get themselves out here. They wintered over at a little place called Fort Clatsop.
We'll pause there and revisit the Lewis and Clark expedition later, as we actually do to go to Fort Clatsop, where Lewis and Clark completed their expedition and made camp for the winter over 200 years ago in 1805. Next up, Columbia River Maritime Museum. Ding ding. We taking it to Nehan? We're gonna really haul ass. Get down the river in 10 minutes. Come on. Diameter 13 feet 6 inches.
Wow.
19,300 pounds.
Wow, that's a lot. Oh, museum entrance. Oh, okay. Da-da-da-da. Hurricane simulator? Oh no, thank you. Category 1. 74 to 95. Category 2, 96 miles. You want to get in it, babe? Do it. I've never seen a hurricane simulator before.
You get in with me, baby?
No.
Yes.
I'm gonna record you.
From inside, come on.
No. Oh,
Come on.
no.
Get in here.
I'm scared. Oh no.
Like,
What? Oh my god, my ass gonna
apparently we hit 40 miles an hour, and after that, it just sucked the phone right out of Marissa's hands and got destroyed. This is all the footage we got. It was a pretty cool little machine for a buck.
As you can see by now, we're suckers for history and we love museums. And the Columbia River Maritime Museum did not disappoint. They had tons of different exhibits.
But the most exciting part was learning about the Columbia River Bar, aka Graveyard of Ships, and seeing the 40-foot Coast Guard motor lifeboat. This really brought home the reality of what's to come for Nehan and us. We have been studying the dangers and learning the best times and routes to use across the bar, but seeing these exhibits have really heightened our fears.
During the summer of 1977, a local resident was walking on Clatsop Spit, where the USS Shark wrecked 131 years earlier, and noticed the tip of the sand-encrusted sword sticking out of the ground. After it was carefully studied, it was identified as a 1841 U.S. naval officer's dress sword.
That's kind of so bold I want.
Columbia Rediviva of Boston was built in 1773, and in 1792, Captain Robert Gray and a group of Boston entrepreneurs sailed down the Horn of South America in pursuit of the fur trade of the northwest coast of North America. This led to them discovering and naming the Columbia River after its iconic vessel, the Columbia Rediviva.
Fun fact, the first American-made ship to circumnavigate the globe. Fun fact number 2, the famous space shuttle named Columbia was named after this iconic historic vessel, the Columbia Rediviva.
Now that we've completed the tour inside the museum, let's go check out the Columbia Lightship, which was included in our $25 museum admission.
The Columbia Lightship was commissioned in 1951. It was the fourth and final lightship to be stationed at the mouth of the Columbia River. From 1892 until 1979, the Columbia Lightship guided vessels across the Columbia River Bar. Columbia was the final lightship to be decommissioned on the West Coast. She was replaced by an automated navigational buoy. Because of the importance, the Coast Guard had a permanent 18-man crew stationed on board. Everything the crew needed had to be on board. In the winter weeks of rough weather preventing any supplies from being delivered, life on board the lightship was marked by long stretches of monotony and boredom, intermixed with riding gale-force winds. The crew worked 2 to 4 weeks rotations with 10 men on duty at all times.
Incoming!
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger? Jeez. You're asking for too much.
Radio room.
Yeah. Ah, this is where we sleep. This is pretty cozy. Oh, imagine if someone farts. Baby showers only? Does that mean a short shower?
We were in the front.
On to the next thing. Goonie house. Jason's dream come true.
Fort Clatsop was the encampment of Lewis and Clark expedition near the mouth of the Columbia River during the winter of 1805 to 1806. It took them just over 3 weeks to build the fort that housed the 18 members of the expedition. The structures of Fort Clatsop were relatively simple, consisting of 2 buildings surrounded by large walls. All of the men lived in one structure, while Lewis and Clark, Sacagawea and her husband and their son, John Baptiste, stayed in the other. The fort was the last encampment of the Corp of Discovery before embarking on their return trip east to St. Louis. Since 1972, approximately 2,000 vessels, including over 200 large ships, have sunk in and around the Columbia River Bar, and up to approximately 1,000 people have lost their lives to the sea. These dangers have earned this area the title Graveyard of the Pacific. The culmination of high seas, tides, strong winds, river flows, and shallow, shifting sandbars make this river bar one of the most dangerous bar crossings in the entire world. The Coast Guard National Motor Lifeboat School was founded here because the dangers of the water was so extreme that it felt perfect for them to start training there. Once we get Nehan fixed, this is going to be one of our biggest challenges. Crossing the Graveyard of the Pacific, something we think about every day. Here we are at Cape Blanco Lighthouse, built in 1870. It is the oldest lighthouse still in operation in Oregon. At 59 feet tall, the light is visible 22 miles out at sea. Well, back to work we go. Stay tuned for our next episode. See if we can get Nehan fixed and head back down the river towards Astoria.
I can't even be a captain because I can't see over. I need a steppy stool.
That's why you're always gonna be a first mate.
That's so sad.